evening we are going to be joining Victor from We Love Malaga on a cultural walking tour of Malaga. So we're going to be discovering some of Malaga's most iconic and beautiful historical spots, and we're bringing you along for the ride.
We really hope you enjoy it.
This is the famous Gladius Street. It's also known in Malaga as our living room. We love to come here to walk. There is nothing we love more here, local people that just wandering around, do a little bit of window shopping as well. And by the way, this is one of the most commercial streets that we have in the city, and one of the most expensive streets to rent on the street level that we have in Spain. No wonder in the upper part of the buildings we don't have many families. There are just a couple of families that lives here in Gladius Street. The rest are mainly offices, doctors' offices, insurance companies, headquarters of local newspapers, and so on. Look at these beautiful marble floors that we have over here. Buildings are amazing, are all original from 1891. That is the year when officially the Gladius Street was inaugurated. The very first business that we had in Gladius Street was an ice cream shop that is not far from here. It's called Casamira, that makes it the oldest ice cream shop that we have in the city. Well guys, welcome to Bishop's Square. This is probably one of the most famous squares that we have in Malaga, together with Constitution Square and Plaza de la Merced. This building that we have over here, this is the famous Cathedral of Malaga, a building that has been built on top what used to be the main mosque of Malaga. Malaga, during more than 700 years, was a Muslim city, and right on this spot, way smaller, is where we had the main mosque of the city. The construction of the cathedral started in the year 1528 in Gothic style. That's the reason why the cathedral is facing east. We come from the west, but we are heading into the east. The continuation, Renaissance, and the main facade, Spanish Baroque. So three styles that we have over here in the same building. If you look over here, you can see the central medallion. That is Our Lady of the Incarnation. That gives the name to the cathedral. It's the real name of this cathedral is Cathedral Our Lady of the Incarnation. When you look over here and you see the Virgin Mary, and whatever you see the Virgin Mary and the angel talking, that means that it's dedicated to the Incarnation. The name of the angel is Gabriel. On both sides you can see statues. The one on the left is San Ciriaco and the other one to the right is Santa Paula. Both are the saint martyrs of Malaga. They were killed by the Romans because they were Christians at a very young age, at the age of 13. Of course, we cannot leave this spot without talking about the famous bell towers. This cathedral, even though it started in 1528 and it wasn't finished until 1780, well, it wasn't finished. Because if you look here to the right, you can see the cathedral miss the second bell tower. Isn't finished. And the reason why is because they ran out of money. There were some problems between the Bishop of Malaga, Miguel Murguillo, and the governor of this city, that in the year 1780 they decided to stop charging taxes to the farmers who were funding the construction of this cathedral. As a matter of fact, 6 months later they ran out of money, and that's the reason why the cathedral is unfinished. It is true that part of the money from the construction of this cathedral was used to support the American Revolution, when 2/3 what is nowadays the United States of America used to be part of the Spanish Empire. They decided to get money from the budget of this cathedral and use it for the American Revolution, when Bernardo de Galvez, the governor of Louisiana, was a very good fellow with George Washington. And as a result, is another of the reasons why it's unfinished. Well, we just arrived into one of the most beautiful areas and historical areas that we have in Malaga. This is where Malaga started as a city. Did you know that Malaga is one of the oldest cities that we have in the world? 2,700 years ago, Phoenicians, that was a very important civilization from the Mediterranean, arrived to Malaga and they decided to settle on the mouth of the Guadalhorce River. From Guadalhorce River, they decided to move into a safer place, and that's the reason why they came over here. Nowadays, we have a lot of ruins from the different civilizations we have had in Malaga. For instance, we can see here a Roman theater, and above we can see a Moorish fortress. As I told you before, Phoenicians arrived to Malaga and founded the city with the name of Malac. There are two theories talking about the origin of the name Malaga. One of the theories says it was a goddess that was venerated by the locals, by the Iberians who lived here before the Phoenicians, and that's the reason why they say that. Another reason is they said it's a kind of a purple tint. Color, kind of like an ink that was produced here from some plants and little bags, and that's the reason why they name Malaga. But officially nowadays we don't have any proof, you know. Unfortunately, in those days we didn't have a person sitting on a chair just saying, oh, this is the name of the city. Anyway, after the Phoenicians we got in Malaga Greeks, Carthaginians, Romans, Byzantines, Visigoths, Moors, and finally the Christians when the city was conquered in 1487. This Roman theater was completely unknown in Malaga. It was officially rediscovered in the year 1951. It was under houses and a lot of stones and soil, and during the construction works of a new park and a museum, library, an events place called Casa de la Cultura, they found a tunnel that you can see over here. The archaeologists came from Madrid, they started digging, and they realized that finally they found the Roman theater of Malaga in the year 1951. This Roman theater, by the way, is from the year 80 after Christ, so it's almost 2,000 years old. On top, we can see the fortress. The fortress that is 1,000 years old. The fortress of Malaga, it was built by the Moors, but the fortress, as we see nowadays, as we understand the fortress nowadays, it's nothing to do until the 13th and the 14th century. By the way, this fortress is 200 years older than the Alhambra of Granada. And this is the famous statue of Picasso. Did you know that Picasso was born in Malaga? He was born in this town in the year 1881, right here in this apartment that you can see behind me. Picasso only lived in Malaga his first 10 years, but after that his family decided to move to another town, to the city of Coruña. This square, called Plaza de la Merced, one of the most livable squares that we have in Malaga, used to be his playground. Did you know that in this square is where he got the inspiration of painting pigeons and also the blue sky that we have in Malaga? Picasso, as I said, only lived 10 years here in Malaga. He was always surrounded with women with the exception of the father. He lived together, the two sisters, Lola and Conchita, together with the mothers-in-law. And they lived here for, as I said, no more than 10 years. These houses that you can see here behind me are known as Casa de Campos. All these houses were for rent, so Picasso's family first rented the one on the corner where he was born, first floor, and then a few months later after he was born, the family decided to move to the next building because it was bigger for the family.
Victor, tell us, where do you get your passion for Malaga?
I got my passion of Malaga after living so many years outside this town. I lived first in Glasgow in Scotland for 3 years, and then 3 years also in the United States, 1 year in Hamburg, 1 year in Florence. So after I came back to Malaga, I decided to stay here the rest of my life.
Fantastic. For people that are thinking of coming to Andalusia, what makes Malaga unique? Why should they choose a week or a weekend in Malaga over any other destination in Andalusia?
Well, Malaga is a winner destination. In Malaga, we have so many different options. It's not only that we have wonderful gastronomy, we have monuments, we have the weather, we have the people. It's also like you are in a very short distance to a lot of highlights and cities like Ronda, you have Marbella, you have Cordoba, you have Seville. So there are so many options around here within a couple of hours.
And for someone who wants to take a tour of the city with you, with your company, We Love Malaga, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect, small groups for no more than 8 people. There's always an option to have private experiences for a very low price. We have included a lot of different options like monuments, like food, like the market. And of course, they can expect to see Malaga from the local perspective.
Fantastic. Well, I hope everybody comes and joins the trip with you, and thank you so much for participating.
Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.